I'm talking about the pros and cons of using Skype, Basecamp, and Wikispaces as project management tools for a 25-branch information service. Doing a quick review of these three tools which can be used in project management. So here we are on the Wikispaces homepage that you'll see if you have an account with Wikispaces. Before I get into that, let me briefly say that Basecamp, Wikispaces, and Skype are all good tools to run a medium-sized business such as our business. Both Basecamp and Wikispaces are applications that allow users to collectively edit documents and manage projects from geographically dispersed locations in real time. Wikispaces goes back to the original collectively edited document on the web, the wiki. However, it's not a simple wiki, but Wikispaces is a wiki hosting service or a wiki farm for which ongoing use requires a monthly payment. It's not very much. Wikispaces has an advantage over Basecamp, in my opinion, in being simpler to use. Now here we are on the Wikispaces dashboard. Let's go into a group project, group wiki. This is where I've recently been using this page. And obviously you can have multiple wikis, but here we are in one of the wikis. And let's look at the pages we've got in the wiki. So we put up, let's take this for example, one page that we collectively edited. I have a recent review of mobile operating systems, and you can see how easy it was to simply press edit, and all of a sudden I can do a live edit of any of this document. When I'm finished, just press save. So that's the great advantage of a collectively editable document such as a wiki. And I've really enjoyed using Wikispaces because of its simplicity. Let's go back here. It's very simple. As comments show on your pages, the wiki discussion board here, and you can edit how many projects you want or members you want. Now let's jump over to Basecamp quickly. So we've got is the main interface in Basecamp, and here the Basecamp interface. And I, to be honest, found myself often just using the progress bar to see what was recently altered in my project. But yeah, the main interface is here. You can press into the particular projects you're working on, and you've got discussions, to-do lists, files, and text documents. Now, Basecamp is a widely used project management software in the business world, so it clearly does what it needs to do. Basecamp emails me daily updates on any activities of my project's page. Wikispaces doesn't do this. Personally, I prefer not to be overly inundated with emails, so I'd give Wikispaces preference here. Basecamp does include a wiki-style collectively editable list of documents. Okay, so they're both useful. I prefer the simplicity of Wikispaces, and I generally, when I'm using Basecamp, find myself just hitting the Progress tab and looking at what has been altered, be it a discussion or a file, chronologically using that interface. So I found myself trying to simplify it, whereas Wikispaces didn't need the simplifying. Now Skype, most people have used it. We do a test Skype call, and after I've connected, after I'd connected, I could have added other users, up to 25 users. So yeah, Skype obviously allows face-to-face group conference calls, as well as text-based chat, and it also allows users to show a screen view in real time. Considering that human beings are not purely cerebral automatons, but rather emotional and embodied beings, I think face-to-face communication is a more satisfying form of interpersonal interaction than just transmitting electronic text. And I found weekly Skype meetings were appreciated by myself and others as an addition to Wikispaces or Basecamp. However, we did experience difficulties with sometimes not all the group members having good microphones or webcams. That'll change in the next few years. So I do think this is a scalable and useful device for our service. Basecamp allows various levels of access to projects, according to if you're an administrator or just a user. So that's useful. Wikispaces has a similar option. And they both could be used as by a 25 branch information service to manage group projects effectively. Wikispaces is perhaps preferable for a public information service, and they give away free accounts to educational entities, and so in some ways have a more philanthropic focus than Basecamp. Basecamp does encrypt data that it sends to my server, promises not to pass data to a third party. Wikispaces also has good privacy policies, promising not to sell my information to third parties. And Skype supposedly also encrypts its data, so talking with a colleague on Skype should be private. At least this is what I presume, and of course it's hard to be 100% sure after Edward Snowden's revelation of mass NSA data surveillance in recent years. In sum, I would recommend Wikispaces and Skype to be taken up as tools to manage projects by our information service.